What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I botched the intro at the time. So here's a quick little sneak peek. Ooh. Whoa. Wow is right. Today I'm going to dry age my own beef, turn it into a beautiful smoked half-pound cheeseburger with homemade American cheese, homemade buns, homemade pickles, sauteed onions, to try and make the best cheeseburger of all time. Coming up! Down on Leroy & Lewis, there's one menu item that has been blowing up in popularity lately, and that is the L&L burger, the smoked cheeseburger. And if you want to know how to make that yourself, you can head over to the Leroy & Lewis Patreon page where Evan and I will show you all the secrets in every step. But to recap, it's a half-pound burger patty made out of Akaushi brisket trim that is hit with a brisket rub, then smoked until medium rare, then seared off on a really hot griddle, topped with American cheese, burger sauce, house-made pickles, and of course some wonderful sauteed onions on a Martin's potato roll. And it really is greater than the sum of its parts. Because on paper, it seems like a pretty basic cheeseburger, but everyone that eats it swears it's the best burger in town. And I've been wanting to make a smoked cheeseburger on this channel for a really long time. It's super easy for the backyard cook, and it's great no matter what kind of pit you have. But you know me, I like to make things hard for myself. So we're gonna be doing everything from scratch. Homemade buns, homemade pickles, homemade sauteed onions. We're gonna dry age the beef ourselves and really go crazy to try and make the best burger possible. So that being said, that's what we're gonna be making today, and it is going to be delicious. This is some dry-aged beef. I've had these cuts in my fridge for the last 35 days using these Umai dry aging bags. These things are great for the home dry ager because it's basically a bag that's porous in one direction, meaning water and moisture can escape without allowing any other bacteria or anything else to come in. So I've had these in my home refrigerator for the last 35 days. So what I've got here is a Wagyu sirloin tip roast, as well as a Wagyu underblade roast. I got both of these courtesy of Double 8 Cattle. If you're in the market for some Wagyu, definitely hit them up. Then I also have a brisket point. And as you can tell, these are all looking real nice and dry. Got a really hard pellicle on the outside. And it seems like the dry aging did its work. Got a little bit of white mold in certain places, and that's to be expected. As long as there's no green mold, you'll be a-okay. But as always, just give it a smell. If it doesn't smell bad, then you're gonna be in good shape. And this really doesn't have all that much smell to it at all, which is great. And when we slice in, we've got some beautiful dry-aged meat in there. These Umai bags are a lot of fun. Highly recommend picking some up. But as always, if you know anything about dry aging, we need to cut off this exterior pellicle layer to get down to the nice, clean meat. And that is looking beautiful, in my opinion. Especially now around the holidays, when ribeye roasts and prime ribs are going on sale. I do this every year, usually right after the holidays, right in the beginning of the year when all the roasts really go on sale that didn't sell for Christmas. You can get some good deals. And then you can cut them up and make your own dry-aged ribeye steaks or strip loins or whatever you're into. And I think that's gonna make for a good burger. And again, that's why it's okay if there's some mold on the outside, because what we're really after is this nice concentrated beef on the inside of the roasts. Just gonna be extra flavorful. Because the whole point of dry aging is basically removing some of the water content to really concentrate the flavors. And as I mentioned, I've had these in the fridge for the last 35 days, which I think is a pretty good place to start when it comes to home dry aging. Just look at the color of that meat on the brisket. Looking real nice. So between sirloin, chuck, and brisket, I think we're gonna have a super flavorful burger. And this is what we're left with, folks. Crazy marbling on that. And then the sirloin as well. I sliced this all up to make it easier to fit in the meat grinder. And I'm gonna pop these in the freezer for the next little bit just to firm up. And because these are all such well marbled cuts, I think we're gonna have a nice, fatty, juicy burger. After a brief stint in the freezer, this meat is nicely chilled. Got the course die on here, as usual. That looks like some straight up A5 right there. This is a lot of ground beef. Looking good. What a beautiful sight. And because we're using brisket and chuck, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a double grind just to make sure all the fat is evenly dispersed, and it'll give us a better texture at the end. Because as you can see right now, it's crumbles. And one more pass will really help work the meat a little bit, but not overwork it, and give us that perfect burger consistency. I'm starting to get that dry-aged smell, unique in a good way. That's exactly what we're looking for right there. And just like that, all of our burger grind is done. And I must say, looking at it now, that is a perfect meat to fat ratio. So to form these burgers, we're gonna start off by making a bunch of meatballs that are 1/2 pound. And we're gonna just keep doing this until we form Meatball Mountain. So to form these burgers, I've got this real simple burger press here. This is made by Weber, I believe. We're gonna get some patty wax paper, pop it down, burger goes on top. Not rocket science, folks. Ugh. The perfect patty, nicely shaped, perfect size for a bun, and it's got paper on it to help with oxidization. Now that all these burger patties are formed, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap these up and put them in my fridge overnight. Because as I mentioned in my last burger making video, whenever you grind up meat like this, all the enzymes and proteins become broken and want to reform into whatever shape they're left in. So now that these are all formed up, these are gonna be a lot more structurally sound tomorrow. If you were to cook a freshly ground burger on a grill especially, it's gonna fall apart and may crumble on you. If you saw my last cheeseburger episode, you'll know that I'm a big proponent of the fact that American cheese is the only cheese that belongs on a cheeseburger. But I'm aware there's a lot of people out there that don't trust American cheese because there's a lot of really low quality American cheese out there. Stuff that's labeled cheese product. That's a lot closer to plastic than it is to cheese. But today I'm going to show you how to make your own American cheese from scratch using real sharp cheddar to make some really nice melty cheese that has all the same properties of American cheese, and you know exactly what goes into it. Starting with a sauce pot and some butter. Once melted, we're gonna go in with some sodium citrate. It's a salt derived from citrus fruits that works as a really nice natural emulsifier. And that's what's gonna help the cheese from breaking. Because if you normally put cheddar cheese on a burger, it's gonna split into milk solids and oil. And that's why I don't like cheddar cheese on a burger. But this way, it's gonna all stay together and get that nice melty vibe. Once fully dissolved, we're gonna go in with some milk. Any liquid will do here. Some beer would be nice if you're going for a beer cheese kind of thing. Heavy cream works well. That's what I used in the last video. But now that we got a liquid all together, let's grate some cheese. My cheese of choice today is some Tillamook sharp cheddar. Definitely want to grate your own cheese here. If you buy pre-grated stuff, it's full of cornstarch and other elements in there to help it from caking together. And you don't want that. That's just going to mess up your cheese. To our hot frothy milk mixture, we're going to now go in with our cheese. And now this is all coming together into a wonderful cheese sauce. We're going to make sure it's extra smooth by hitting it with the old immersion blender. Oh my goodness, we're fogging up the lens. And there we have it, a beautiful, smooth, voluptuous American cheese sauce. Especially if you're trying to make queso, this is the secret, that sodium citrate. We just need to put this into a mold. Oh, I love it. And into the fridge this goes to solidify overnight so we can slice it up into beautiful cheese slices. Next up on our to-do list is pickles. So I got myself some pickling cucumbers here. English cucumbers would work just as well. I'm just running them across this mandolin, trying really hard not to lose a fingertip. And you can make these as thick or as thin as you like. I'm going pretty thin, that way we get that kind of bite through texture where you can take a bite of a burger without pulling the whole pickle out. Once all sliced up, get yourself a jar. I got 4 or 5 cloves of crushed up garlic in here, a sprig of dill, and we're just gonna fill this thing up with our pickles. Next up, our pickling liquid. 1 cup of water, 1 cup of white vinegar, I don't know, about a tablespoon or so of some mustard seeds, chili flakes as well, and 2 tablespoons of Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. We're going for straight dill pickles here. If you wanted to go with bread and butter, right, you could also throw some sugar in there, but we're gonna bring this up to a simmer. Once up to a boil, throw in a few black peppercorns. Over the cucumbers they go. In retrospect, this may have been way too much red pepper flakes. I'm used to making this at a 5-gallon ratio, so if it comes out too spicy, I'll let you know. Close it up, give it a little shaky shake. Into the fridge these go overnight to cool down, and in the morning we'll have some wonderful quick pickles. Let's make buns, starting with 1/2 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of water, and some bread machine yeast. Give it some tiny whiskey business. Into the mixer we go, along with our eggs. Next up, bread flour, kosher salt, sugar, and some amylase. In we go. And this is in fact the recipe from Joshua Weissman's recent video when he recreated the Whopper on the But Better series, where he made a really nice conditioned burger bun. So if you want to see a more in-depth process on how to make these, be sure to check out his video. Also, Josh, call me next time you're in Austin, bud. Butter in. Into a greased bowl we go. Now we take Papa's buns and we give them a nice proof. After a couple hours, this dough has doubled in size and then some. Next up, we're gonna portion these into 90-gram little dough balls. Boop. Now we're gonna let these rise for a little bit and into the oven they go. And just like that, look at these beautiful buns. Nothing wrong with that. So nice and squishy. Beautiful. Damn it! Frosty the snowman had a snake inside his boot. Let's make some caramelized onions. Oh, Jesus. 2 is all we need. Pole to pole, folks. Dollop of beef fat, dollop of beef fat. Big old pinch of salt. For our rub today, we are gonna go on just like a brisket with 2 parts 16 mesh black pepper and 1 part diamond crystal kosher salt. Oh, look at that beautiful Wagyu dry-aged burger. Ah, truly a sight of beauty. And as you can see, this is a lot more solid and firmed up than it was the other night. That's right, folks. We're just gonna dunk this right into the seasoning, get a nice heavy coat on there. Make sure you get all sides, and that is how to perfectly season a brisket patty. May seem like a lot. Somehow, it always seems to work out perfectly. I wouldn't do this with fresh cracked pepper, and I wouldn't do it if you're just gonna make a smash burger either. But because we're gonna smoke these, a lot of that pepper is gonna mellow out. On to the pit these go. We're rocking a solid 275, and these should only take about 30-40 minutes to hit an internal temperature of around 120 degrees internal. When I first started making the L&L burger down at Leroy and Lewis, I was making a pretty basic burger sauce, you know, ketchup, mayonnaise, little mustard, some Worcestershire sauce, paprika, garlic, other spices, a little bit of vinegar for some tang. And then one day I realized that there's already a sauce that combines all of those things, except for the mayonnaise. Barbecue sauce. It's ketchup, mustard, Worcestershire, all the things I just mentioned already made up for us. And of course, I'm going with Leroy and Lewis Beet Barbecue Sauce. On sale now at LeroyandLewisBBQ.com. So all we need to do is add some mayonnaise. Oh, how you doing? And you can do whatever ratio you like, depending on how much mayonnaise you like on your burger. I'm about a 50-50 kind of guy. Looking good. Whoops, beautiful. Homemade American cheese. Don't mind if I do. God, that smells good. Look at these beautiful smoky bad Larrys. Beautiful buns. These things are so soft, so squishy, and so tasty. Little bit of butter. Gotta love it. Ooh. Oh, what a fit. Would you just look at it? Ooh. Beautiful. And of course, some microscopic tiny pickles. I kind of like the mini pickle for a burger. You get a little pickle in every bite. And then we crown our king. Boop. Mr. Evan Leroy.
Yes, sir.
I have some Wagyu dry-aged beef, smoked to 120 and seared. This is my homage to the L&L burger on homemade buns, house-made pickles, everything you represent. Would you like to dive on in?
This makes me so happy.
This is quite the plump burger.
It's so thick.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
Wow, it's extremely good.
That's a big mouthful right there.
It's just so good.
A little bit of a smoke ring, nice medium rare. I'm happy with that.
The beefy flavor. The bun is so good and so rich and soaking everything up.
Now, there's another trend in burger world right now.
Yeah, what's that?
Shake Shack is doing it. The black truffle burger.
Oh.
Do you think we should try
Do you
it?
have black truffles?
I do.
Yeah.
Ooh. God, those look good. So
Gotta go eat a black truffle burger, dry aged, everything, you know, just, you know.
Got somewhere to be. Oh, wow. Yeah, that pairs so nicely with that dry aged funk.
That is so good. This is such a good burger. It's like a $45 burger. Man, I have never had anything like that in my life. It's so good. The cook, the crust, the toast on the bun, combination of flavors with the American cheese, pickle, onion, everything coming together.
So, dry-aged black truffle burger, is that coming to Leroy and Lewis anytime soon?
Oh, I don't know about that.
What a beautiful sight.
Wow, that looks so good.
That's a hell of a cross-section right there. I gotta admit it, folks, this is by far the best cheeseburger I have ever made. The dry-aged smoky patty with the hard sear on it is just packed with so much flavor. That creamy American cheese that still tastes like sharp cheddar, definitely worth making. Also great for making queso. Best buns I've ever made. And I know I went really overboard with this, with the house-made cheese and house-made pickles and the truffles and all that good stuff. But take away the concept of just get yourself some ground beef, season it heavily with salt and pepper, throw it on the smoker till 120 degrees, then sear it off to give it that nice crust, and you can make a really great smoked cheeseburger at home with very little hassle. But at the same time, I highly recommend going the extra mile if you can. But with this last bite, I think we all know what's about to happen. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make an absolutely fantastic burger. The best burger in the world, some may say. I highly recommend doing this at home, or at least a simpler version of it. But if you do get this recipe, try it for yourself. Be sure to hit me up on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see more dry aging or more burgers or anything like that. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to make videos just like this one. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!